Do you know, I felt like I was just being pushed into a whole nother world, like a whole different viewpoint. It felt like political, like, conflict or something, because I'd read this whole book and I was sitting there and I was thinking, and don't mind the condition of the book, I swear there's a reason it was like in my school bag or something, but the whole time I was reading this book I was like, oh, this guy he's me, like I feel like so connected to this guy. And then as soon as I opened up, like, first it was Tumblr, everybody was just complaining about the guy, and then you open up Instagram, there wasn't really much there, because I feel like people don't voice their like opinions on Instagram as much as on everything else. On TikTok, a lot of people like, well, he was this, that and the other. I'm gonna go look up at this very second the type of things people say about him when they're trying to hate on him. They're trying to like, oh. Okay, so I'm back and I've done a little bit of research. The reason people hate him is because he's so whiny. And I'm not gonna lie, he is a bit whiny, but the majority of people are whiny. Like, people love to complain. I love to complain, and you probably love to complain too. So it's not as if he differs from normal. And another reason people hate him is because he's depressed, and people think he has no reason to be depressed, which is just a bit absurd, not gonna lie to you. And he's got nothing to be depressed about. It's the same as like, say you're walking down the corridor with your friends and one person's complaining and saying, oh, my mum was angry at me today, oh, I'm upset about that. That's like one friend being like, oh, you can't be upset about that because my fucking mother died 5 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's like comparing things that don't need to be compared. Like, everybody's entitled to be depressed or be sad. Like, I don't even know why I have to fucking address that. I mean, I don't have to address that. Nobody really cares. So here's why I'm personally a Holden Caulfield defender, apologist. Whatever this guy does, I'm going to defend him, unless it's like something like totally out of line, but it's Holden Caulfield. I highly doubt something like that's going to go down anytime soon. So I feel like of course he was whiny, he was always complaining, he was like, oh, this person's a phony, this person's... Do you know what I mean? He was always given some sort of negative input into situations. But I feel like he was forced into that mindset. Like, the people around him just have not treated him badly, maybe treated him badly, but neglected him kind of like, the way, like, I feel like he was alone and he was like kind of isolated from them, like, because normally people have friends and they bring up the mood, but I feel like nobody was really interested in his company, and this kind of put him down into a spiral of just thinking everybody's phonies, everybody's gonna do this. Like, he makes generalizations, sorry it cut out again, but he makes like generalizations about people because that's the experience he's had with people, in my opinion. Like, he's just gathered these people, put them in a wee box, and said they're all this, that and the other because that's all he's ever experienced. And I feel like in this book, nobody is willing to give our boy a chance. Nobody is willing to get too close with him. The only person that ever properly respected him, in my opinion, was his little sister. And that was one of my favourite parts of the book. I loved their like relationship so much. I thought they were so close and they cared about each other. I feel like Holden Caulfield did not care about anybody except his sister, and that was because she cared about him too. I feel like his parents, maybe, like, of course they cared, most parents care, but like, I feel like him and his sister really had something special that lots of people don't have with their siblings. Another reason is, the fact is, a lot of people, like, they make him out to be some sort of bad person, but these same people are the same people that would defend some, like, I don't know, some killer out of a book and say, oh, but there was like, do you know what I mean? They would defend somebody like that, but when it comes to somebody like Holden Caulfield, they're the type of people to just say, oh, this guy's a shit person, let's fuck off, Holden Caulfield. They're the type of person to do that. But I feel like this, come on guys, like, get a fucking grip. This guy was crying because I don't remember specifically because it was a while since I've read the book, but he was crying in the hotel after being like kind of, not interrogated, like kind of like by like the prostitute and the guy that gave him the prostitute. He was crying. And I feel like if he was really a bad person, he was that tough, he wouldn't be crying at something like that. I think he was punched, but I don't remember completely because it's been quite a while since I read it. I read it before I went to Poland. It's been 2 months since I read it, so I don't have the exact memory, as you can probably tell. But I don't know, he was just so relatable. And a lot of people don't like the book because of the grammar, but the point of the book is, this book is so fucking real. Like, it's reality. It does not feel like some sort of, like, fairy tale. It's so real to, like, to read, because it's real life stuff that real life people will relate to. And I feel like people just aren't willing to accept real life situations, or, like, I feel like the people that don't respect Holden Caulfield don't respect people in real life. I feel like they would judge somebody like him in real life. That's just how it fucking is. Of course, it's, you know, it's good to have good grammar in a book and to have, you know, really good, like, vocab in a book. But I feel like that's not needed in everything. You need a bit of a break. Like, you can't just read the same stuff over and over again of different words you don't know. I mean, maybe you can. But, like, I feel like you need a break from just all this new stuff. You need something that's realistic, because in real life, you're not going to be walking down the street and hear all this vocab that you would hear in, like, classic literature that you don't understand. That, of course, is good to know it, but it's not realistic. And Holden Caulfield and the whole book in itself puts you in a realistic thing, because it makes it so much more real, because nobody's going to be speaking in the way these I'm merging words, these classic literature people speak. I mean, maybe they do, but, like, the majority of the time people will be speaking like Holden Caulfield speaks. And I liked the way he wrote the character, J.D. Salinger, because he made him so that he had flaws, like everybody does. Like, see these people judging Holden Caulfield? They have no, like, they can't even comprehend the fact that everybody has flaws. Like, they probably think they're perfect with no flaws, but everybody has flaws, and that's what makes this guy fucking relatable. Like, now this book is just so legendary, simply because it's just, I've said it like 20 times, but it's just so real. If you want a real person in a book, go to Holden Caulfield. Like, see these people read about, they're not realistic most of the time. Most of these people don't have flaws, they don't have stuff that irritates the reader. Like, they're just made out to be perfect or have really, like, intense flaws. But, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like the writers don't write them in the way that J.D. Salinger wrote Holden Caulfield. Like, if you hate Holden Caulfield, you hate people. Like, you're the type of person to go down the street and just judge people because they've got problems, judge people because they've done this. And I mean, Holden Caulfield's a bit of a judger too. I'm not gonna lie. He really is. Holden Caulfield is a fucking judger. Like, he judges everyone, right? But he doesn't judge people the same way that the people who judge Holden Caulfield judge people. Holden Caulfield doesn't judge people off... Well, he does, but, like, he doesn't... It's hard to explain. He's not one of these people that judge people just because maybe they're gothic or they're a bit weird or this, that and the other. I mean, maybe he does, but, like, I don't know how to explain, but I'm kind of guessing that if you've read this, you can understand the difference between the way Holden Caulfield judges and the way, like, a normal person would judge people out in the street and, like, you know, say things to them. You know, I feel like Holden Caulfield has pretty good viewpoints and things as well. Like, sorry if he says something really offensive in the book and I've completely blanked that. I don't want to be that person, but I kind of feel like not to be that person, but, like, I feel like he's literally me. And I feel like a lot of people would say the exact same thing, because he brings a lot of realism and a lot of stuff. You realise a lot of things about yourself when you listen to him speak. And if you think this guy is fucking shit, then you need to, like, look into it again, maybe read the book again, because you can hate the character. I mean, I'm not stopping you from disliking him. I only want you to, like, get the point across. This is just a normal guy. Like, why? It's like hating fucking Vladislav who lives in blooming Vienna that you've talked to fucking once. Like, you don't know the guy. Well, what the fuck is that comparison? Also, when you're, like, reviewing this book, it's really clear that Holden Caulfield has a lot of trauma. He has a lot of things that make him the way he is. For instance, his brother dying, and I'm pretty sure he got sexually assaulted as well by that teacher guy, or, like, assaulted, or, like, I'm not sure what went down there, but that was not pleasant. I feel like he's had a lot of trauma which has stopped him from going places. For instance, school. that's had a negative impact, and a lot of people have that nowadays. Like, they can't go to school in the morning and stuff, get up and stuff. And I feel like I'm actually doing that right now. I'm supposed to be in school, but that's not, like, I'm going back tomorrow. But like, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that people need to take into consideration when hating on somebody like Holden Caulfield. It's a bit different than hating on somebody who's fucking, I don't know, walked into a school and shot like 20 people. It's a lot more different, and people don't understand that. There's a difference between hating a character who's actually done something bad and just hating a normal character. Like, I don't care, right? I do care, but like, I don't really care that much if you don't like Holden Caulfield. But I just feel like this whole video was to make a point about why I would defend Holden Caulfield if it came up in conversation. Like, you know, I would argue for the guy. I definitely would. And that is the end of my first ever YouTube video. I mean, I've been wanting to make an account and like a channel for so long because I feel like I've got so much to say. Like, I've got so much I need to express. But please subscribe, like, I don't know, I feel like that's the average end of a YouTube video. But I would really, really appreciate if, yeah, but I'm going to put some social media channels I have at the very end. I've got Instagram, I have Pinterest, I have Snapchat, but I'm not putting my... But I really do hope you did enjoy that video, because that was my genuine opinion. I feel like a lot of people, they like make a script of what they're going to say in YouTube videos, and I didn't make a script. I'm just sitting here telling you what I think. So, you know, I don't really have any preparations or like time to, like, you know, think about what I was saying. So I do hope you did enjoy listening to that point of view, and if you don't agree with it, that's fine. I mean, everybody thinks different and there's nothing wrong with that, and if you did agree with it, then thank you. But I really do hope you enjoyed it, because, you know, I've been wanting to make that video for quite a long time. I've been thinking, I need to make a fucking video and talk about Holden Caulfield. Like, that man needs fucking spoken about. He needs spoken about. But anyway, that's all from me, and thank you for watching. Bye.